Okay, everybody, let's take a look and see what's going on with the grains. We're going to go through corn. We'll look at oats. We'll take a quick look at wheat. So this is a daily chart for corn. You can trade it on the December 2021 contract if you want to. That symbol is /ZC. But you can also trade, I believe it's XC. Yeah, XC /XC. That'd be the E-mini corn. Okay. So that's the 1 hour chart. Let's switch over to the daily. See what's going on here. Daily chart. Friday ended up at 577.50 for the corn futures. You can see corn for the last, 4 days bounced off that 50-day moving average quite nicely. Okay, maybe a little bit more room left in this to go on the daily chart. So we might get another 2-3 days out of this. Let's see if we just kind of take an average here. Sometimes we'll get a stall like I did up here and just kind of, but this was finding resistance. So trying to see something here where we got to pull off of the 50 and got above it. Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been traded above, then all through here traded below. So this recent break above just happened back here. Let's see, really October 22nd. So looks like to me, just if just look at the daily alone, just still some room to go here for corn to increase in price here. You know, guys and gals, I don't think we're going to get back up to this 735.25 in corn. Anything is possible, and it definitely could happen, especially in this crazy world we live in today. But 577, can you get all the way back up to 735? I'm inclined to think no, not for corn anyway. Let's look at the monthly. Yeah, look at this. All those diversion signals just back in, they really started back in February of 2021. Look at this. It only took about 3 months later, and corn just got a huge hit. Though right now, looking at the monthly chart, I say I can't get to 735 again, which was here. All-time high is over here at 849, but 735 was over here. Look at this monthly chart. Looks like it wants to take off again, right? So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. There's definitely some strength, both on the daily, on the monthly. Let's take a look at the weekly here. Weekly starting to get a little bit toppy here, right? Maybe there's definitely some more room to go. Could get all the way up into there like it did back over here, where it got really peaky up in the 80s. Right now we can see it's only in the 50s, so there's definitely room to go here on the stochastic momentum index. You know what? Let me switch over to a different style. My ultimate 50. I think it's going to give us a little bit better heads up about what's going on here. Give me a second here. I get these indicators sorted out a little bit better. Yeah, the divergence signals don't mean too much coming out of this low, so I'm not paying too much attention to them. The MACD long term did get above the zero line, which is nice. Right here, got above it. Yeah, that daily still looks pretty good. Okay, just want to go back, look at the weekly one more time here. Yeah, everything looks like on corn, it's still some room to go here. Weekly just barely broke above the 50 just this week, so want to keep an eye on that. I'd rather see another week where it gives us a really good sign. For those that are thinking about taking a trade on corn, I'd rather see it get above that 50. Let me get a little bit smaller, real tiny line here. I'd rather see corn get up like a full candlestick above it. Okay? So this upcoming week, if we get a candlestick on the weekly chart that opens, obviously at the top of that previous candlestick and starts getting some legs underneath it on Monday, even Tuesday, then I could see a long side trade right there. Okay, so that would be your kind of keeping your eye on your weekly chart to see if that candlestick does indeed take off from right above that candlestick. Okay. And then one more last look at the daily. Yeah. Definitely some room to go there, I think. Okay, I don't normally track corn on my day-to-day stuff, so let's look at the hourly for everybody. Wouldn't normally do this. I only normally reserve hourly charts for premium members, but since I don't keep track of corn, everybody's gonna get a freebie here. Okay. Yeah. So if you're gonna go long on corn, which is fine because most everything's above the 50 on the longer term charts. Though I'd wait on the hourly for it to come down probably and just see what it does coming off this 50 hour. Okay, keep that in mind for the hourly stuff. That's what you'd want to be looking at right there to see what that does. Does it do one of these and bounce off the hourly? Then you'd want to go long. Okay, going long right here, the timing's not really ideal. Okay, let's switch over and take a look at Oats, which Oats has been monstrous. Absolutely monstrous. Let's get rid of the open interest here. So this is Oats on the daily, been trading way above the 50 for, since July. This thing's been on fire. Okay, absolutely on fire. Just look at this thing. Be aware of your we're looking at December 2020, 2021 contracts. You really want to be aware of your contract months when you're trading futures. You want to go to the CME site for any product you're trading that's a futures product. Most of them are going to be on the CME site, okay? And check the specs tab, okay? Check the specs. Make sure you or especially the calendar and the specs, both. Make sure you understand when things expire, okay? The calendar tab is going to be on there, as well as specs, okay? So you don't want to get caught trading a certain month and then it expires on you a week or two later because you're not aware of what's going on, okay? Just keep that in mind for any product, including the grains. Things like crude oil, they'll say December, but it expires in November. It'll catch you out. So when you're trading crude oil, especially, and other products, or a few other products do that, they'll say 1 month, but they actually means another in expiration. You really got to pay attention to the calendar and the specs, okay, guys and gals? All right, so what am I seeing here in Oats? Been tapering off, okay? Been tapering off, 734, okay? So a high was 779. Lately, it's been tracking sideways here on the daily, well above the 50. Still looks strong. You can see the daily's starting to turn and come up. I wouldn't pay too much attention to these divergence signals coming out of a low like that. MACD long-term says down, so we definitely want to pay attention to that. And I do think eventually it's going to come down, and when it does, it's going to be huge. I said this before on Oats. That's a trade of a lifetime. If you could time the short side of Oats, and that might not even be until sometime into next year when Oats finally gives up the ghost. But trade of a lifetime, if you get that one right. Let's take a look at the monthly. You see that monthly signal, man, it is so peaky. So peaky. Now, obviously, we got exactly almost 2 weeks to go in this month. But that candlestick right there could just be a pause in the action. But things are seriously elevated. 405 on the Big Daddy. Okay. The stochastic momentum index is pretty high there, up at 84 and 79. Okay, got a divergence signal back there from the Big Daddy quite a few months ago. Same thing on the SMI. Nothing lately. Okay, so we'd be looking for divergence signals to show up on the monthly. That doesn't happen too often in the Big Daddy guys, as I said before. Look at this. Last time we saw a divergence signal on the monthly chart was way back in 2012. Okay, and it did end up eventually giving it up and come down, touched the 50, came back up, and then eventually broke through. Okay, now that was a good year and a half later, but that divergence signal right there was no joke. Okay, it warned of things to come, and sure enough, look at that. But bam, this was the first tell right here for a few months right there. What, about 4, 5, 6 months down? tested the 50, got a bounce, and that was it. So this divergence signal right here, guys, you can see it doesn't happen very often to Big Daddy. That is not to be ignored. Now, it might be sometime in the next year, who knows? And then the boom boom. Okay? So, Oats look very toppy. That candlestick right there just, wow, look at that thing. Okay, very evening star-ish kind of look going on in Oats. I wouldn't say shorter right now, but let's take a look at the weekly. Wow. See, now that right there, that right there, guys and gals on Oats, it's just screaming short me. Just screaming it. Okay, if you want to be super safe, you can wait for the MACD to do its thing and start to roll over here, you know, as it gets closer and closer and closer. At some point, I guess it's going to do its thing. But Oats, guys and gals, it looks like it wants to come down. I'm telling you, if you can get and Oats is thinly traded, so you got to be really careful. Very thinly traded. Prices can jump dramatically. Okay, if you're going to take a I don't like the idea of trading short well above the 50, obviously, but in this case, it's so far removed from the 50. 37%. It's crazy. Over here is 40%. Amplitude percent, 40%. At Oats, boy, I'm telling you, it's a trade of a lifetime if you time this. A lot of money's gonna be made on the short side of Oats when it happens. Okay, let's take a look at the hourly. See how thinly traded it is? See all these hours where you got nothing? It was like a volume of 2. Sometimes you get 0. Volume of 1, 5, 2, 1, 1. I've seen 0. I'm getting a lot of 1s here. 1, 1, 1. I'm just looking to see if any zeros pop up. Sometimes it happens. Yeah. So you really gotta be careful of that. You can see how thinly traded Oats really is. It'll just jump dramatically. The spread between the ask and the bid can be quite large sometimes. So if you're going to trade Oats, give yourself lots of room. Make sure you got a lot of margin to spare. Don't overcommit. Okay. Again, guys and gals, these videos are educational videos only. I do not give financial advice. Whatever trades you make are your own responsibility. Okay. I think Oats is a trade of a lifetime. May not be exactly right now. You can see on the hourly it's come up here. Look at this, above and below the 50, just keeps looking from above, tracked along it, well below it, came above it, tracked along it, below it. I mean, it's just crazy. Oats are all over the place. All over the place. That is going to be one heck of a monster trade when it comes. That weekly's got my interest. I'll admit, it's definitely got my interest. Just looking at this divergence going on here. Got divergence signals popping up. Look at this. Look back. You don't see any red dots anywhere. If we go, I think I'm on maximum weekly. Let's go way back here. 2004. Let me clear the screen. Get everybody's attention here. We saw a red dot back here. Gave us a warning. Even though it's hard to tell, the prices got way up here and came back down to the 50 right there. Okay, that's like the only other time in the entire history of Oats that we can see on the weekly chart that there was red. Back in 2018. That's it. Okay, so this to me right here has a lot of credence. You know, if you got a lot of margin to move and you're willing to be patient, you're gonna have to stomach a lot of price movement. But if you're willing to do that, I think Oats could be extremely rewarding to the short side. Let's see what happened back here. Yeah, there was a warning here back then. It may not seem like a lot of money now because Oats is so crazy overvalued right now. But look over here. Let's see if we can zoom in on July 2018. And here's where we had the red dot. August 2018, right there. So we got this red dot, divergence signal. Comes up, tracks sideways, and look at that. Well, bam! So it took a while for this to mature. Just came down, bounced off the 50, got way up into here, and look at that. I mean, my goodness, man, that's a lot. You know, back, you gotta understand that compared to where Oats are at now, this was a huge trade, both to the long side and back down to the short side. Of course, trading short above the 50 is a little crazy. You know, I wouldn't recommend it. But when did that signal come in? You check this out, guys and gals. This is what I really want you to get. This signal came in right there on that little tiny candlestick. Look how many weeks there was they were trading. 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks down. You know, it went from a high of 270, and by the time it was done, it got to a low of 240. You do the math, okay? You go check out the Oats specs, and you tell me what 30 points does for your brokerage account. Gonna make you a lot of money is what it's gonna do. So now we're so elevated, you know, who knows what the exponential multiplication is here. 30 points could turn into 300 points, 100 points, whatever it is. Okay, gonna be some serious money made here, I think, in the short term. I do think there's potential for like a couple, 2-3 weeks down here. Could be pretty big. Okay, let's move on to wheat. We'll finish up this video with wheat. Let's look at the daily here. Now, I already covered wheat yesterday for the members only. So I'm not going to cover the hourly chart here for the wheat because that's for members only. But we'll look at the rest of the time frames. The wheat is, you know, very elevated here, right? But it just came off a recent low. These can be basically ignored for right now. Just came off a recent low. Nice little bounce. Look how far it bounced when it did bounce. Look how far above the 50-day moving average it was when it actually did this bounce. Really, really nice. That's pretty strong. I don't think we're getting peaky yet. The big daddies might show a little stall and something like that. I think there's more room to go here on the SMI. A little bit peaky, so if you're going to trade wheat, I'd be a little cautious considering this candlestick here looks a little bit weak for the week just finished yesterday. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. Again, looks like they're still, well, yeah. Weekly chart got some divergence signals going on. Okay, last time we got one of those was over here. Okay, so you want to be careful. We got divergence signal back there too as well. Wheat came down for several weeks. Got divergence signal here. Wheat came down for several weeks and met the 50. So guess what? Guess what? Look over here. Came down, met the 50. Look over here. Got a divergence signal. Came down, met the 50. Guess what's likely to happen, guys? Every single time we have seen a divergence signal on wheat, what's happened? You guessed it. Okay? Every time. Now, I could go back further in history, but just for the last, I don't know, what do we got here? 2-3 years of weekly chart. Okay? So all you people out there, okay, you know what I should do right now? Now would be a good time to put a splash screen. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put a splash screen for premium membership. Sign up right now, $5.95. Why? Because you just saw what you saw on the screen. There's probably going to be a short side trade, and the logic that I have behind some of these indicators are strongly suggesting there's a short side trade coming up for wheat. Okay, again, educational video only. I do not give financial advice as paper trades. Be responsible for your own trades. But you're seeing it for yourself, right? Take advantage of $5.95, guys. One trade on any of these products, any of them, one trade is going to pay for a full year worth of membership. I've had a lot of members already more than make back their money. I mean, like years worth of membership, okay, on one trade. So $5.95 is an absolute steal. Take advantage of it. Okay, back to the video. So, I mean, I don't know what to say. You know, this is just telling us everything we need to know. I've already said it, you know. There's a trade coming up in wheat. Okay, this is very likely. Okay, I might even take a short side trade on wheat here. I'll be paying attention to some other things, and I won't just be looking at the weekly chart, but, you know, do your due diligence, right? Okay, let's go look at the monthly chart. One last time on the monthly. Yeah, pretty elevated on the monthly, too. pretty elevated. Probably one of the most elevated times in wheat that we've had. Obviously 2012 was really elevated. So was the all-time high here. Wheat was crazy at 1349.50 way back in 2008. So there could be more in this wheat as time goes forward, but it's looking really elevated here, right? The Big Daddy's at 393. We've got 62, not the highest we've ever seen, obviously, because we've seen higher over here when it got crazy and got up to, let's see, what was it, 78. Over here it was 66, and right now we're at 62. So it is elevated. It's not near the all-time kind of high stuff, but it's definitely elevated, right? We've only been above the 50-month moving average since about the middle of 2020, come out of the pandemic low. So before that, it was just for years tracking right along the 50-month. So we're definitely elevated here. Just keep that in mind. Weekly, I've already talked about that. There's money to be made there, in my opinion. Okay, I'm not going to show the hourly. That's premium members only. Okay, guys and gals, one last look at the weekly chart. Baba Boomski. Okay, I don't know, whatever. And something like that. Maybe it comes down like that, okay? Whatever, take your pick. Take your pick. Okay? Okay, guys and gals, that's it for the grains. Go back, review it, pause it. Okay, take advantage of the membership while you can. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to click that little bell to be notified of all the videos I'll put them out. Talk to you all real soon again next time.